I've always found one of the most important things you can do in life is pick a game. Games have opponents, teammates, choices. I'm gonna hack this up with a Sawzall. And those choices have consequences. Melted together. That's scary. That's not a good problem to have to solve. I don't want to just play a game that I can win. I want to play a game that everyone around me can win too. The cobbler's kids have no shoes. Dig deep! Dig deep!
Well, this problem freaks me out.
We could have burned the house down or the forest.
High fives to everybody. I can't deal with this kind of loss right now. Okay, come here. Come around front. When I was 10 years old, I lost my father. Now, he wasn't a particularly good father, or a good husband to my mom, or even a good man. But when he passed, it did put a tremendous amount of extra pressure on my mom, who found herself pretty much constantly working at least 3 different jobs. And we never really went without as a result of her hard work. You're a grown man. You're a grown man in the trades. I think a big goal that we've always had in this lifestyle is to be able to give our kids all the things that we didn't have. Safety third.
Safety third.
All right, ready? Looking back on the way that I grew up, the only thing I ever really wanted was someone to be there. Come, cats. Let me herd you.
I have always thought it's really important to let the kids help. When they're little, it is not actually helpful.
I don't want to argue today, guys. We're 5 hours behind schedule, so I'm not going to argue.
But when you show them appreciation for the things that they're trying to do and willing to participate in.
Stand right here. Turn around. You're gonna face me.
It makes a world of difference. They feel so proud when they're younger. And it also gives a really good foundation as they get older that they know that their help is valued and that they can contribute.
All right, so you guys know how we have the problem of the electricity. Sometimes we'll draw too much and it trips a breaker and I have to come out and reset the generator, reset the inverter and do all of that stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do today is going to hopefully handle a good 90% of it. And it'll also be a lot safer because right now, the way we're running electricity from our electrical system into the house is on an extension cord. And it's just, we draw way too much to be running on one extension cord. Sometimes it can be very frustrating getting the kids kind of all pointing in a line and doing something. You know, they're a lot like herding cats. One thing that we have to do is we have to dig a trench all the way across here so we can put conduit in the ground. And then we're gonna run wire in it that's big enough for me to put a little panel over there. So we'll have our own breakers right there by the house. If you give them very clear directions and very succinct goals, like do this from here to here, or do this action until you get to this point, rather than telling them everything that's having to be done and overwhelming them, and then they never actually get anything done. We're gonna go down about 18 inches all the way across, and then the wire will go into a conduit that will protect the wire, just in case in the future, we're ever like, let's put a garden in right here, and we start digging, we don't accidentally hit the wire, okay? Yeah. And it protects it from water and deterioration and everything else. And from puppies. We're digging a trench across the road, and it's gonna be awesome. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're digging a trench. All right, break. I do find one thing very difficult, to play the game that we've chosen out here, which is being there for the kids and having all these experiences with the kids. We need to go a straight line over to the corner of the house. So I'm gonna just kind of draw that real quick and not really focusing on making money. So I'm gonna start your hole. It can be difficult to like balance out those two goals, you know, trying to do everything that we can and have all the experiences we can and do all the projects that we can for as close to $0 as possible, but also not stressing out about the things that we do end up needing money for. Go for it, buddy, you got it. You ready, Jackson? I'm gonna start you on a hole right here. It's Christmas time, you know, they get more and more expensive. Hey, you're throwing dirt into Seattle's thing. Remember I told you? The dirt that you dig out needs to go on that side. Here, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. You get a shovelful and you just dump it right there. Okay? You're doing great, Phoenix.
You are rich on rocks.
Look at you guys go. Woo!
I am so proud of how the kids have been, I mean, really going at it.
Break it up and dig it out. Go for it.
For hours. Focused in on that one goal, which was laborious. And all of them, they did so great. I am stoked.
Gonna protect this wire from the chewing teeth of dogs and other
And people alike.
and people for sure. I know the people that live here. It's highly likely that they'll find something like this delightful to chew on.
Yep.
There you go, buddy. You're doing good. The reason why we're bringing the conduit right to this corner is because the original house panel is all the way at the other end of the house, 60 feet away, and wire is freaking expensive, and trenches are labor intensive. So I'm not trying to break the children, not completely at least. So we're going to bring the conduit here. I'm going to put a sub panel in here, and then this whole house needs a rewire because in this little section here, we had a small wood stove and that heated the back end of the house. Well, we had a flue fire and it burned up all of this stuff up here, right? Now you can see there, every circuit in the house actually ran through this area. And because when I installed the wood stove over here, I didn't know that. When the flue fire happened, it burned up all the electrical. So some of the wires fused together and everything else. And it wouldn't be safe to reuse any of that stuff. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So we're just gonna rewire everything. You have to stretch every dollar that you make as far as you possibly can. Otherwise, you're not gonna end up with the things that you need to be able to accomplish a win at the game you're trying to play. We're doing a 50 amp circuit, which requires number 6 wire. A friend of mine gave me this. It's about 175 feet, number 6 Romex. Now, you are allowed to run Romex in conduit, but it's outdoors, which is considered a damp or wet location. So you're not really supposed to use Romex. That's what I got. So it's like $500 worth of wire, and that's not in the budget.
I hate spending money, so keeping our cost to as little as possible is awesome.
And we also got this, which is a little load center that I got at a garage sale for like 10 bucks. And I think these are like 70 bucks, 60 or 70 bucks. So that was a money saver. It's 100 amps, but I'm only gonna run 50 amps on it. Garage sales. One of the hardest things to do in a lifestyle like this is make income. There's not a lot of people out here. There's certainly not a lot of jobs. It's really important when you live like this and you're trying to do things for as close to free as possible, that you look around at the different materials that you have and try to piece together everything that you possibly can from things that you already have or that you can repurpose.
I love that Jason can think outside the box and be like, oh, I can use this and this for this thing.
Unfortunately, there are things that I don't have to complete this and that I can't make myself. For example, 1.5-inch conduit. I did have to buy this and all of the hardware for, the sweeps and the connectors and all of that kind of stuff. So that totaled about $200.
Yeah, sometimes I think I would like to have something done more quickly, and maybe we could just buy the thing so that it's done.
A lot of it is rocks, big ones, and I'm worried about breaking the shovel. This one, I wanted to try and pry it out, but not a rock prying shovel.
Not well, my hands hurt and my legs hurt a lot.
Let me see your hand, bud. Whoa. You're getting some strong hands.
You know what we call those? Man hands.
Man hands?
Man hands. That's how you, yep, you got man hands too. Look at them. Man hands.
Well, you sure are working hard, buddy.
Yeah, you are. You're doing a great job. Keep it going. You're going to be a level 2 apprentice in no time. We got Saoirse doing the undermining. She's literally a blue-collar dog. Can't even tell you how proud this makes me. You got this. Let's do this.
Yes, sir.
You got it. I believe in you. One. You can do this.
Yes.
Push it. Push it.
2.
2. Really big scoop, right? Dig deep. Dig deep. Dig deep. 3.
Watching Jason work with the kids is really endearing on one hand.
I was just going to tell you guys, very good job and give high fives to everybody. You guys worked awesome. So super good.
Yay.
Rocked
Love
it.
how awesome you guys worked. And as a team,
Dad.
high fives to everybody.
And it also, we're in that way, we're very different.
You want a beer? You want a beer?
Yeah, I do.
You want a beer?
Yeah.
You want a beer?
Yes.
You're too young for beer. If you're not drinking White Monsters in the morning, are you even really part of a trade?
They could be doing it completely wrong, but I could be like, oh my gosh, you're doing great, but here, try it like this. This will make it easier.
There will be things that we're going to just make work that aren't necessarily how they're supposed to be done.
And he's more forward about it. He's like, stop it. Why are you doing that? Do it this way.
Might as well do the things you can do absolutely correctly. Right?
Yes.
You always use more glue than you think you need, and you glue both sides of it. I'm going to push this in. Okay, you can hold it down lower. There you go. And we're going to push it in, and I'm going to twist it a quarter turn. And that makes sure that the glue distributes evenly on the inside of it. I'm not known for my patience. I try. I really do. I really try to just encourage them, and when they make mistakes, be like, well, at least you tried. These are the perfect things to do if you want to see additional drama from your father freaking out, okay? I didn't finish my video either. As a small child, I grew up handing the wrong tool to my father, so I know what it feels like to be berated. Both sides, and then both sides. You do that? Thank you. Incidentally, I ended up with a thick enough skin. Maybe it does have its advantages.
So what are you doing, Brooklyn?
Priming.
Arts and crafts with pipes.
Yep. It's always been my dream.
This is the same process for plumbing. I mean, I want them to be helpful. Hold it tight. Is it easier for me to just go out and do the thing by myself? Absolutely. There's no question. If the game we're playing out here is to be able to spend as much time and have as many experiences with them and really be there for them, then I'd be shooting myself in the foot if that's the way I went about it. Even when it drives me crazy, because sometimes it does. Shutting the power down.
That's just a part of how He is. I think it's got to be good for them because they don't get it from me.
There we go. That doesn't have a freaking nut on it. The cobbler's kids have no shoes.
I happen to be really terrible at taking that kind of direction myself, so that's probably why I'm really bad at giving it. So then should you disconnect that because we won't have the space right there to do that, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Bing! It's a light bulb moment. Thanks.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have offered my idea.
Of course you should have. Your ideas are always welcome.
I love him very much.
So far, so good. I don't remember the last time that one of our projects has gone this perfectly. So this has actually been really nice. It's just kind of moved along. And that's not normal for projects out here. So look at that. Straight up and down. Exactly what I wanted. All right. Now the childrens can start backfilling. Just call her and I'll go.
I see Merlin come up the hill and he's all shaky and wobbly, just not doing well. So then, I go in and call the vet and Jason rushes off with Merlin.
I don't really know what's happening right now. Merlin wandered back up the hill to the house and he was like shaking like he was seizing and was disoriented and his tongue sticking out of his mouth. I think he's been poisoned.
Apparently, when the irresponsible folks in town have a dog that they don't get fixed, and that dog ends up having a bunch of puppies, and they need something to do with those puppies, they find it appropriate to bring all those puppies out here to the middle of the woods and abandon them. That creates a problem for the people who are out here. Those dogs become predators who go after their flocks.
I'm rushing him to the veterinarian right now. Buddy, you gotta make it. You gotta make it.
Apparently, a number of the folks out here find it appropriate to mix up rat poisoning with dog kibble and bait the dogs onto their property to poison them so that they solve the problem of the predators.
He's my best friend. I can't deal with this kind of loss right now.
In my opinion, if there is a predator stalking your livestock, you take care of that specific predator. What you don't do is indiscriminately create a situation wherein anything that might be drawn to that as a source of food ends up being killed. That's not okay. 90% of humans don't deserve dogs.
I was so glad when I found out he was okay.
Well, we just got out of the vets and he's fine now. She said that it looks like he got strychnine poisoning and he must have thrown it up in time for it to not fully process through his system, but enough to make him sick. Jeez. What a frickin' morning. Anyway, I'm super glad he's okay. Because Merlin's my best friend. I'd do anything for you, buddy.
Oh, Jason would have been devastated. Jason takes him everywhere with him. They're like this.
Because Merlin's a good boy. It says it on his tag. You feeling better? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take him home.
I don't even know what I would have done if we would have lost Merlin like that. Yeah. But the vet said keep him inside for right now, so we're gonna keep him inside. We got a lot to do too, so we're gonna try and get this part of the project all finished up today, and we'll go from there.
Working with Jason on this project is very multifaceted.
This panel is NEMA 3R, so it's weather resistant. It's meant to be outside.
I feel so many things.
The other panel that I got at the garage sale is not, so I'm gonna just switch these out. They're both 100 amp sub panels, so.
From excitement.
Unexpected, but sometimes you gotta do that.
To, I wanna throw something.
Okay. So I guess that was a 1 1/4 inch hole.
There's a lot of walking around and looking for things too.
Rat bastards. I probably have a 1 1/4 inch 2-screw connector if I go search around.
Call it circle walking. Gotta get my steps in.
So I'm gonna try that first. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna hack this up with a Sawzall. If for no other reason than to get some satisfaction.
Which drives me crazy because I'm very like, put the thing where it belongs so you always know where it is when you need it.
Well, in my rush to get this out of where it was, I put it over here in the little shop. It had a lid on it. I think one of the kids probably turned it into a Frisbee, but it filled up with water. This is all my electrical devices and wires and all of that stuff. It filled up with water and it's 3/4 of the way frozen.
Awesome.
So I would bet money that half of the things that I need are in that tote. It's like,
I don't like wasting time finding something to then do the thing that should have been done by now.
getting rid of all the too. I'm tired of having all of this stuff that's not gonna be useful.
Actually, it's a huge problem. I'm super disorganized. It's not something that I've ever been very good at.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did find the lock nut for the one thing. At least there's that. Silver lining.
I'm used to it though.
At least those little ones come out way easier.
Yeah. And they're round. It's super irritating. That's one of the most irritating things when you don't have something, although it's probably in that frozen bin down there that you need, and it's nothing. Like I've had to go to town to get a 1-inch coupler for PVC. It's like, that's 99 cents, and it cost me $15 in gas to get there. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous problem. That's not a good problem to have to solve. Ducks just, laugh at your every mistake. Haters. That's what they are. This is why we're doing this.
Seeing those extension cords melted together.
So this is the extension cord that we've been running into the house to run all of the electrical.
Really freaked me out because we are in a very high risk fire zone.
The sides are completely melted together. So that's exactly why we're doing this. That's scary.
I mean, it could have burned down our house. It could have caught our property on fire, and then often well beyond that.
So what we're gonna do is make a rabbit. So all you'll do is kind of dangle it above the hole. I'll get the generator started and then suck it through that side. Okay?
Cool, baby. The string line and the vacuum was the coolest thing ever. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. I didn't even think it was gonna work. I'm like, okay.
People just stand right here and feed it. And
Nice.
okay, I'm gonna go.
The way it just took it so fast, I was just glad I wasn't actually holding a roll or had my hand on the string in a weird way.
That's crazy. I wonder if he got it. Wow.
You impressed me, love.
That was so cool. I was not expecting that to go that fast. Wow.
Here we go. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Let me tell you something I know for sure. To impress a mother of 5 children, 2 of whom she made at the same time, is a very difficult task.
Were we expecting it to go that fast?
No. No, not at all.
So anytime that I can do that, I get quite a kick out of it.
It's an old Sparky's trick.
That is
All right, reel her in.
Pulling the wire was probably the worst thing I have ever had to do out here. It was so hard. It was so hard.
Just tape the living out of this. Because worst is when it gets like 80% of the way there and then your bond breaks.
I felt so underqualified in both strength and height.
All right, here we go.
Working with Carrie on projects is great. She's a super hard worker. And she will outdo herself on everything that we attempt to do together.
Keep her coming.
She's probably the hardest worker that I've ever met in my entire life. In fact, it's almost to a fault.
Is it stuck on something?
She can't stop working. She has to find something to do, and she just goes and goes and goes. And if I'm being 100% honest, it kind of makes me nervous.
Okay, let's switch.
If I were to go and take a break at the time that she was in the middle of working hard, I would feel bad about that. So then I end up having to work harder. Which I think is something that you want out of a teammate. If you want to get something done, get Carrie involved in the project and it'll get done.
She said, that's her intro. Not many men could have matched her tempo. The queen of catch up to the test, scratch the cliff notes. I read the book, now how we look, match the Flintstones. I'll be your rock, you can be free and just stop by. Don't need a lot, show me that stinger and now try. To not get caught slipping, that honey is sweet, dipped in that yellow and black. Not too much honey for me. I'm on like a tree. You can ask me. And we can make that sweet honey, baby. That sweet baby.
She also does not take direction well.
I see the head. It's crowning. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Push. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh. Woo. Okay. Ah. Ah. There we go. Ah. That's good. Good game.
Good game. GG's. Really hard work. I am beat. Very excited when it was through. We did it.
I'm just super excited that we were all able to come together and have the experience of completing an entire project together.
We did it.
And I'm just really proud of everybody for how well they worked together and how much they got done.
We conquered.
And this will have a spare conductor in here for when we get another inverter. And we can have 240 volts. We all had a good time. Everybody was pleased with themselves and everybody else. Nobody got yelled at. So that's all connected over there. I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite parts about this project is that we were able to do it all for under 250 bucks. That's what a win at the game we've chosen to play looks like.
Power.
We have 50 amps worth of power.
I am so stoked that this part of this project is completed. I really, really, really like things done.
And just when we thought all's well seemed to end well. The night before last, in the middle of the night, Merlin got out. I'm not sure how. He was missing all the next day. We searched everywhere. I drove all over the place. We searched in the woods. We searched all over the property. And he was just gone. Sometime in the middle of the night last night, he wandered back onto the property, found a tree that he loved to lay under, and he passed. I'm 90% sure I know who did this, but until I know for absolute sure, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm teetering between absolute devastation and going full scorched earth. But as for today, we're going to mourn Irish wake style, so I'd like you to join me in a toast to Merlin. You are the very best of good boys. So good it said it right there on your tag. You were taken too early, but you leave in a state of grace. I love you. I'll miss you. You were the very best friend, an undeserving human like myself could have ever wanted. To Merlin.
Man, this might be something lethal. Like a beast that can't be tamed. This the kind of rage you can't contain. Yeah, this might be something lethal. You can really see the flames. Feeling like it's borderline insane. Man, this might be something lethal. Something lethal. Yeah, this might be something lethal. Feel it coming. The pressure start thumping, ain't no running. It might cause a rave, all my people start jumping. You can feel the blood, shit, it get your blood pumping. Okay, you better take a seat. Don't step inside the kitchen if you cannot take the heat.
The dogs are feeling my pain right now. They're singing the songs of their people.
Feeling like it's borderline insane. Man, this might be something lethal. Something lethal. Yeah, this might be something lethal.